everybody? Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. Battle report number 43. This is my first battle report with the new version 1.2 rules. I'm still playing Ogre Cons as Lord Tremendous, and I am up against my Dwarven opponent, the Beardless Beardling of the Dwarven Holds. This is a really, really interesting game. I really wanted to find out if version 1.2 was good. Hopefully I run into XYZ, either good or bad, and be able to bring it up to the rules team or start a thread saying WTF or woohoo! And to be perfectly honest with you, I enjoyed the hell out of the game. I know, I am biased. I'm fine with the changes for the most part. There's a couple of things I think that they need to change, get rid of, just like everyone else. There's a couple of changes that were made that I don't fully agree with, but the vast majority of stuff they did, I would say 85 to 90% of the stuff they did, 100% on board with, excited about, and I'm also very excited to see how it plays out. So, there's been some changes. This is a 5,000 point game because my group, we're going to play 2,500, which is now 5,000. We're just going to do it. If we go to a tournament and they're playing 4,500, so be it, but my group, we want to play 5,000 because it just fits better, we like it better, the armies feel better. And we finish the game in about 2 hours, so... Anyway, sit back, relax, and get ready to see how this one goes. Here's my list, and there has been changes because even though it's basically the same amount of points, things got increased differently than other things, so I've made some changes. Not huge, but you'll see. Here's my characters section. I still have my shaman, Skaz, Skaven and AC. He's still my general. He uses the shamanism path because I like it. I paid for 3 more spells on him, and he has the demon heart. That's it. Skaz is pretty much naked now, which is how I like him. You take that however you want. Next up, I have my Khan. He's my BSB. He's got the Axebreaker gauntlets, he's got the Dragon Mantle, and he's got the Talisman of Shielding. I also gave him Spine Splitter because I could afford it now. Really, there's no change here other than I gave him the Axebreaker gauntlet simply so that he would have magical attacks and to get him back to the 2-up armor because I can't take Mithril Mail on him anymore. I gave him the Dragon Mantle to help out, heavy armor, Dragon Mantle, and the Axebreaker Iron Fist gauntlet gives him a 2-up armor. I want him to have that. And the fact that now he has, parry and everything like that helps. And of course, he's always going to have the 6-up ward because for some reason, this particular character always makes that ward save. And I gave him Spine Splitter instead of Rotten Jaw because Spine Splitter is immensely cheaper. And I just like the idea of him getting an extra attack and an extra point of strength for everything with Iron Fist. So it just seems like a solid kit to me. Next up, I have my Mammoth Hunter, Lord Tremendous. He's on a Rock, the Elf Eater, and that name is self-explanatory. He's got a hunting spear, and I give him the hunting spear so that he can stand and shoot or move and shoot and stuff like that. It's better, in my opinion. He's got the Lucky Shield to negate the first shot. He's got the Charm of Cursed Iron to deflect, hopefully, any artillery shots. And I gave him the Obsidian Sword. I did that because when he hits, I don't want your armor to get in there. The way I see version 1.2, and this is me putting a list together without playing any games with it yet, it looks like armor is really going to be a factor as opposed to ward and regen saves. The armor Destiny can only be taken by infantry, so you won't see it on Cav or Monsters Cav or ridden monster guys anymore. Not that it would matter, but you get my point. You're not going to see it there anymore, so 4-up ward saves are going to be a little bit rarer in my opinion. Regen, well, there's always going to be that worry, and if it's there, it's there. I like what they did with Fireborn, so that you can't have regen and Fireborn anymore. That's genius. Because it was abused. Say what you will, it was abused. If you used it, I was abusing it, and I knew it. So, yeah, come on. So, that's why I gave him the Obsidian Sword. If you're wearing a lot of armor, I want him to be able to cut through it no problem. And then for my final character, I have my Mammoth Hunter, who I have not renamed yet. So I keep on referring to him as Lord Tremendous every once in a while. I apologize. It's a learning process. He's still on a Tusker, War Teddy. He's got the Ogre Crossbow, the Razor Blade, Armor of Fortune, Rock's Charm, damn it, Lucky Charm, and he's got the Headhunter. I just like this kit. There's no reason to change it right now. And I think he's going to be very viable as a flanker and a support guy. So he's very dangerous. I just need to think of a cool name for him. It's hard to top Lord Tremendous, you know what I mean? Alright, here are my core choices. Mostly the same, kinda. I have a unit of 12 tribesmen, the good old boys, with full command, Iron Fist, and the Banner of Discipline. I thought about running them 6x2, and then I thought, why the hell would I do that? 4x3 just makes more sense to me. It's a lot of attacks. I thought about 3x4. Still might go to that. I haven't decided yet. It just seems like I'd be losing a lot of attacks if I took away a file. So, up in the air, we'll see. Gave him the Banner of Discipline, though, because this is a 924-point unit, okay? Full command, Iron Fist, all that goodness. 924 points. Banner of Discipline allows them to auto-pass all panic checks. That's huge. So this unit is very stable now, and I like that, considering they're only Leadership 7. So I don't see changing that banner anytime soon. Next up, I have my little unit of 5 tribesmen, Skaz's Spazzes, with a banner and an Iron Fists. This is just a bunker unit for Skaz. He likes to blow things up, mostly these guys. That's why they're Spazzes. They're like fanatics. You know, what can you do? But yeah, Skaz goes in here. He stays out of combat unless absolutely necessary, or I just get outmaneuvered by my opponent. Either is very possible, or the combat is so one-sided in my favor I can't possibly lose, like charging an elf or something, you know. But yes, I have this unit, very useful. Next up, I got my elite choices now. I have a unit of 6 Scrappling Trappers, my favored pets, and I'm so glad that these guys didn't get touched. Then I've got my Sacrificial Lamb, my Sabertooth Tiger, Bow Wowzer. And then I've got my meatheads, my 5x mercenary veterans, the corpulent bastards. I did toy with swapping these guys out for Tusker Cavalry just to try something new. I'm very tempted to do the Wild Heart themed list, but I just like these models too much, so I kept them. Plus, it's a badass unit. They have a Banner Musician, Lethal Strike, Bodyguard, Iron Fist, and the War Standard. No change to this unit because it kicks ass the way it is. Next up, my gunpowder choices are a Thundercannon of Doom! I just really like the way cannons work now. This thing has always been reliable. It's very dangerous. And it's a Strength 5, Toughness 5 chariot if all else fails. So it's just too cool not to take. And then since I've trimmed the fat in some areas and the points just, you know, they don't translate exactly 2 for 1 in the entire book, I had some points left over. So I was able to fit in 3 bombardiers with a musician. I don't know if I'm going to keep these guys in the army, but I really like these models. I wanted to use them again, and so I threw them back into the list. And hopefully they perform so they don't go back to the shelf of shame and collect dust. And then last, but far from least, my enslaved category. I have my Frost Mammoth, Rufus. He's got a couple of ogre crossbows and a guy totes around on his back, but he's the main star of this show. He's the foundation of my army, and I loves him more than I love oxygen. So that's it for my list. As you can see, I'm trying to give my opponent a lot of high-value targets. I've got my unit of 12 tribesmen. I've got Lord Tremendous on a Rock. I've got the other Mammoth Hunter on a Tusker. I've got my General's unit. I have a lot of units for him to have to shoot and magic, so I'm trying to overwhelm him with high-value targets so that when the rest of them get in, they're all viable except for one. So that's the hope anyway. That's why I designed this list the way I did. But that's it for my list. I'm going to post my opponent's list next. I'm going to play some music. Feel free to pause it whenever you'd like in order to see what he took. here are my spells, and I don't have any tokens or anything like that made yet, so I got Awaken the Beast, Savage Fury, Break the Spirit, and Totemic Summon. I'm very much looking forward to trying out these spells. And here's deployment. Yes, I have discovered some cool new things on my video editor, and so I'm going to play around them. So occasionally you'll see some things that you didn't see before, and that's okay. You're not seeing things. I'm just having fun. It's not always about you, damn it. For deployment, I deployed first, and as you can see, I did my usual clump and stump. The Tuscarana Hunter is on the left flank there. That's obvious. He's going to try to go around, get on that hill, because my opponent has a catapult, an organ gun, and an engineer on that hill. I need to kill that yesterday. That I figured he'd put stuff on the hill. That's why that Hunter on a Tusker's over there. The Bombardiers, same thing. They're going to go into that forest and fire away at everything they can on the hill until either it's all dead or they're all dead. I have my Thundercannon behind them. He's going to shoot at whatever target presents itself. I'd like to kill the steam bomber he's got in the center there, in the back, kind of near the forest, but we'll see. I've got my tribesmen right up in front. They're going to go forward and try to get into those gunners as soon as possible so they stop shooting at me. I've got Skaz and Espazzes behind them so they can't shoot at them, or at least not well. I've got Lord Tremendous right in the middle because, let's face it, there's nowhere to hide somebody on a rock. I've got Bow Wowzer next to him to stop unfortunate overruns and redirect if required. I've got my Merc Vets with my BSB over there on the side. They're going to try to just destroy whatever they can, and I got Rufus backing them up. He's going to fall behind and just try to put out his 6-inch aura of, slow the hell down, and hopefully that helps me out. It's hard to see, but in the top left there, in those ruins, are where my trappers are. They're going to try to move on to that hill as quick as they can and just throw scrap metal at things until they die. And that was it for my deployment. For my opponent's deployment, from right to left, he's got a Vengeance Seeker on the right side of that forest on his side. He's got his Kingsguard, I believe, right there, kind of edged into the forest with his king on a group of shield bearers. Right behind them is a steam bomber, and those things are friggin' devastating. Then he's got guild handgunners or something like that. In the middle there, a unit of 20 of them, and they're just dangerous as all hell. He's got an Anvil of Power behind them. Then he's got a unit of Greybeards with his BSB and a Rune Smith or something like that. I can't remember. Some sort of runic dude in there. Behind them on the hill is a catapult, an organ gun, and an engineer. So I definitely have a fight on my hands here. Here's top of one after movement. As you can see, I came forward fast. Quick, fast, in a hurry. Damn holding off. Last time I hesitated against the dwarves, they shot me off the table and then just steamrolled whatever I had left. It was amazing, but I've learned. So as you can see, everything moves forward except for my Thunder Cannon. It holds back because I want to shoot things with him, not get him into combat right away. So yeah. Plain simple to the point, that's it for movement. I came forward a lot. Let them charge me. I don't care. Nothing happens in Magic. He burns a... Not the Devouring Rune, the other one that stops your spell. He burned that one to stop one, and then he threw his Dispel dice at the other spell. I didn't roll real great. And then, so we go into shooting, and my Trappers are able to take out one of his Greybeards, and my Bombardiers are able to take out 2 or 3 of his handgunners. Not super impressive. The cannon misses, and there's really nothing else that can shoot because everything else marched. So, kind of an uneventful shooting phase. With no combat, we go over here to bottom of one after movement, and my opponent does pretty much what you would expect a dwarf player to do. He backs up, with the exception of his Vengeance Seeker and his Steam Bomber. The Steam Bomber gets within an inch of Bow Wowzer because he wants to kill him, and that makes total sense. The Vengeance Seeker moves up because he wants to try to, redirect, slow down, be a speed bump for something. Honestly, I believe he made a mistake because Rufus is going to go in there and have a field day. But then again, Rufus might also get killed, so we'll see. But his big bricks just back up a little bit, with the exception of the handgunners. They stay still so they can just shoot and have fun. And that's really it. It's a low movement phase for the dwarves. So we go into his magic phase and nothing happens. I think his Greybeards get gleaming or whatever, and that's fine. I had no intention of really doing anything to him this turn anyway. So we go into shooting, and I get lucky as hell. His handgunner unit fires at my tribesman, and only 6 wounds get through. Yeah. And yes, I consider that lucky because those dwarves and those guns are super dangerous. And then his organ gun opens up and drops 2 more, maybe even 3 more, 4 more. I can't remember, but it's a ton. Yeah, he kills 4 with the organ gun. So yeah. Oh my God! So all you dwarves that are worried about your organ gun not being any good, I, Lord Tremendous, can attest they are super effective still. Please stop taking them. So with still no combat, we go over here to top of 2 after movement, and I give you combat. My tribesmen, my poor depleted unit of tribesmen, charge as handgunners. They stand and shoot, and I think they kill another tribesman and do a couple of wounds to another one. So I don't lose enough to take a panic check. Not that it would matter. They have the standard of discipline, so they're okay. After he does his stand and shoot reaction to them, I send in Lord Tremendous on his Rock-a-Rock. They both make it. So that handgunner unit is dead, and I was lucky. I was able to get it so that Lord Tremendous will hit the Kingsguard next turn. Do I expect him to win that combat? Hell no. But if he can stay in there for a little while, that would be huge. And stop him from doing anything. He's going to be able to take out a lot in that unit, hopefully. And with a little luck, I can get Rufus and or the Merc Vets in there and finish off the Kingsguard unit before they can do anything. That's my hope, anyway. You'll see what happens. The hunter on a Tusker and the trappers move up onto the hill to start working on his engineer and his war machines. The bombardiers move into the forest to also shoot at his war machines, because with the lower toughness they have now, I might be able to kill them off a lot easier. My cannon just kind of shifts a little bit to shoot at the Anvil of Power, because I don't want that around anymore. Skaz and his Spazzes move up just to try to put some damage on the Kingsguard, try to nerf him a little bit, hopefully. And then my Merc Vets, I think I just screwed up with these guys. I should have moved them up more, but I figured his Kingsguard unit was going to charge my dog, possibly overrun, possibly not, but then my Merc Vets and Rufus could countercharge. That was the hope anyway. Rufus, in the meantime, goes after that Vengeance Seeker to give him the glorious heroic death he so desperately desires. That's it for movement. There's a bird's eye view of Rufus getting ready to eat a dwarf. And there's a better picture of my tribesman and Lord Tremendous on his on Elf Eater getting ready to smash through these handgunners. As you can see, I did lose another tribesman on my way in, which is sad, but hopefully he will be avenged soon. During the magic phase, I'm able to get the totemic summon off, and I summon none other than the monstrous totemic shamanistic beast, Cheapskate. Okay. So yes, I summon him 1 inch away from the board edge, and he goes right there where he belongs. Okay, look at the model. The reason it's called Cheapskate is, number one, I love that guy's channel. If you haven't seen Commander Cheapskate stuff yet, he's playing elves, and I'll never forgive him for that, but he's playing elves well, and it's a very fun army to watch him play. He's fun to watch. He's got a lot of personality. Go check him out if you haven't already. But he's a baller on a budget, you know, so he does everything Cheapskate. It's his name. I'm not making fun of him or nothing. There's no shame in saving money, but that model, I believe, represents everything positive about his channel, because it's a HeroClix model I got for $1. So Commander Cheapskate, if you're watching, I hope to God you approve of your new namesake in my army, because you are now a totemic beast that I summon from time to time, and I love this model. It makes me laugh every time I see it. In order to make that happen, though, I had to use Overwhelming Power. I didn't have to, I just rolled it. I rolled like 4 dice. 3 or 4 dice, I can't remember. I think it was 3, actually. Anyway, I ended up rolling on the chart, and I rolled like D3 plus... No, it was Magic Dice used plus D3 times Magic Dice used, or something like that. Whatever. We used the formula and ended up getting a miscast 9, which it could have been a lot worse. The miscast table is super unforgiving now. I got the lowest end of the spectrum because I didn't use a whole lot of dice, so that was the intent too. I didn't want to have to roll very high on the miscast chart in case I did roll Overwhelming Power. So miscast 9, first miscast in version 1.2. The resulting damage isn't terrible. My unit ends up taking 4 wounds in total. It was just Witch's Fire. It's still, though, 4 wounds onto these guys at toughness 4. I think it was only strength 3 because I only used 3 dice. Oof. Ooh, and that was the low end of the spectrum. So Yeah, when you are casting now, you really need to think about how many dice you're going to throw at this spell because it's very easy to blast your unit. And I like that. I like that magic is super powerful and yet super dangerous. I got an extra model on the table and I lost a model, so I guess it was kind of even. During the shooting phase, the bombardiers, not wanting to go back on the shelf of shame, fire at the engineer and blast him to pieces. I literally roll 17 hits, or shots anyway. That was awesome. That really helped them kill this guy, because they did exactly 3 wounds got through, and that killed him. So, very cool. 3 or 4 wounds. I don't know. It was enough to kill him, and that's what's important. So, good shooting, bombardiers. And then either my Trappers or Lord Tremendous or a combination, or not Lord Tremendous, damn it, the Mammoth Hunter on a Tusker. A bunch of people shoot at the organ gun, and I'm able to slip 4 wounds through on it, which is great because Cheapskate back there has a breath weapon. And guess what he's about to do? That's right, that smug little bastard just exhales all over the organ gun and is able to slip the last wound through. Really, really liking Cheapskate. Look at that smug look on his face. He knows what he did. So then we go into combat, and Rufus fights the dreaded Vengeance Seeker. Ends up taking a wound for his trouble, but then he pounds him into the ground. And one less dwarf in the world. Not that I have anything against dwarves, it's just he's on the wrong side of the table. Good job, Rufus. Then combat over here, we wholesale slaughter these handgunners. I think I do a full 9 impact hits with the Rock Elf Eater. Even though they're dwarves, they're still delicious. So he just eats them alive. And then the tribesmen get their vengeance. They're able to beat the tar out of the rest of them. Stomps finish off the unit, but not before they can slip 1 more wound through and kill a tribesman. The good old boys will, I have a feeling, always take a lot of flack for this. One thing afterwards, after they were gone, the tribesmen overran and missed the Greybeards. It was just there was a gap between our movement trays, so they missed. So that's why they're like an inch away from them now and forward. However, Lord Tremendous on the Rock made it. He slammed right into a guy. What we screwed up, and this is completely my fault, and I'm just noticing it now, is that it was a flank charge for Lord Tremendous, not a front. We played it front because I like to sit on my shoulder sometimes. No, it's a mistake. It's just, I see him in the front, I see him hitting the front, that's where I think he's hit. It's my fault. I realize now that this was a flank charge, but it's okay. At least he's in combat. So with combat over, we go over here to bottom of 2 after movement. And there's a little bit. His Greybeards, I believe, tried to charge my Bombardiers, who stood and shot. And I think maybe we killed 1, but that was it. I think he was getting a little desperate, to be perfectly honest with you. He did not like the fact that I killed his poor gunners. But that's fine for me because now it makes the Mammoth Hunter on a Tusker's charge into the catapult that much easier. Not that Cheapskate wasn't going to go into it. And it gives my Trappers some options. So that worked out. I was worried that he was going to make the charge, to be perfectly honest. Other than that, though, everything else he has is deader in combat. There's a better picture of his Greybeards missing a charge, and I lucked out there. And, oh yeah, his steam bomber passed over my Mercvets and dropped bombs and was able to do 2 wounds to my Mercvet unit, which hurts. But at least he didn't kill anyone yet. Nothing interesting happens in his magic phase. He gets gleaning off on his Greybeards again, but I stop everything that he's trying to put on his Kingsguard. And then we go into shooting. His catapult takes careful aim at, I think, Rufus, and fires and ends up misfiring 5, which causes him to take a wound with no saves and negate the shot, which was huge. I was very pleased about that. We go into combat, and it is super bloody. His king moves over. I do direct Lord Tremendous's attacks onto his king because he's got the obsidian. No, he does not. He's got... No, he's got the obsidian blade. I'm not crazy. Yeah, he's got the obsidian blade. Okay, we're back on point. Impact hits, I do 6 wounds. The Rock himself kills another 6. He hits and wounds with all of them because he's a master beast. And then I was able to do 2 wounds to his king with Lord Tremendous, and then Stomps does like another 5 or 6 wounds. So 18 guys die, plus 2 to his king. These guys are steadfast, stubborn, whatever they are. There's no problems, and they stick. But I've cut that unit in half, and in return I only took 3 wounds. wounds because his general just couldn't hit. I mean, his dice really weren't on his team this game, so that's fine. I'll take all the help I can get. So with combat over, we go over here to top of 3 after movement, and there has been some. My tribesman on a roll charge his Anvil of Power, because it's got to go. My Mammoth Hunter on a Tusker charges into the Catapult, because it also has to go. My tribesmen turn and move about 4 inches so they can fire away at his Greybeards. Bow Wowzer goes sprinting over there in order to try to help redirect the Greybeards next turn. My Mercvets attempt to charge his Kingsguard and fail. Rufus does the same and fails. That sucks, but what can you do? Not that both of them could have made it because Bow Wowzer was in the way, but I figured maybe one of them would make it. I was wrong. And the only other thing that happens is my cannon moves to shoot at his steam bomber. That is it. There's a better picture of my Mercvets and Rufus failing to charge, and that kind of sucks. Lord Tremendous is probably going to die. And there's a better picture of the Mammoth Hunter on a Tusker making his charge, as well as the tribesmen getting some vengeance on the Anvil of Power. Magic is uneventful. I just can't seem to roll well in the Magic phase anymore. I think I tried to get Frenzy off on, what's it called, Lord Tremendous, just because I thought that would be cool. Didn't work out. I tried to get off on a Tribesman. That didn't work out. I think I tried to get +1 Strength off on him as well, and that didn't work out either. So what can you do? So we go into shooting, and my Cannon of Doom fires at his steam bomber and blows it out of the water. Or air. I guess air would be more appropriate. Really like my cannon. Over here, my hunter on the Tusker destroys the catapult and then turns to face the big old unit of Greybeards. Charging them in the rear is always a good thing. And then over here, the tribesmen, the good old boys that got into the anvil, destroy it. I do exactly 3 wounds, and he rolls 3 ones. It was insane. Okay, I'll take it. That was as far as the Dice God love went, though. As you can see, my tribesmen overran into the Kingsguard. So I'm like, cool, flank, impact hits, all the goodies. I'm going to be able to, save Lord Tremendous. No, that's not what happened at all. I lose 2 tribesmen on the flank. Lord Tremendous gets killed before he can do his stomps. I do take out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these guys and do another wound to his general. But that's it. I lose this combat by a decent amount, actually. And the dwarves run the good old boys away. They don't catch them, but they do run them off, and that sucks. So it's his turn next. He's going to charge and just cause a cascade effect, which, damn. So here we go into bottom of 3 after movement. And like I said, up top there, the Kingsguard go ahead and charge a tribesman. They have no choice but to flee. They flee through the Mammoth Hunter on a Tusker. The Kingsguard redirect and hit the Mammoth Hunter on a Tusker. Nothing I can do about that. He does stay. All I can do is hope that he's able to kill some of these guys and combat res or make his break checks, because Rufus, the Mercvets, and even Skaz and his Spazzes are way out of position. The good thing that happens is his the Greybeards charging my Bombardiers. I stand and shoot. I kill another 1 or 2, and they fail their charge. Not by much, but they failed it, so they end up right where you see, which is good, I guess. Skaz and his Spazzes are there. They could hit him in the flank, but I've got Bow Wowzer over there to redirect him if I can. So I have an idea, and you'll see what happens. Other than that, though, he doesn't have anything else that's still alive, so that's it for movement. There's a better picture of the good old boys getting away, and the Mammoth Hunter on our Tusker sacrificing himself for the greater good, I guess. Nothing happens in magic or shooting, so we go straight into combat, and it does not go well at all. I don't do any wounds to him. He doesn't do any wounds to me. However, he has charge, flank, rank, super flank, banner, and I have nothing. I need a 4 to stay, and he says, screw that, and gets the hell out of there. The tribesmen, they pursue. The tribesmen fled. I don't think that was right, now that I think about it. I think they were supposed to get caught and run down. I don't know. Does a fleeing unit flee again if overran into, or do they just die? I can't remember. In any case, this is what we did. The tribesmen fled, made it there. The hunter on a tusker fled, got away, and it caused a panic check on the trappers who also fled. And so now everyone's just going for that big exit door on the left side of the screen. It sucks, but yeah, just a rules question there. I can't recall, and I'm too lazy to open the book. So here we are in top of 4 after movement, and there's a little bit. Neither the tribesmen nor the trappers made their rally check, so they're off the table, which I thought was nice of them. Yeah, that tribesman unit's worth 924 points. Oh, it hurt to watch them flee off the table. The Mammoth Hunter on a Tusker does make his check, though, and rallies and turns to face the King's Guard because, hey, he wants another shot at him, and he's going to get it. Meanwhile, the Bow Wowser passes his leadership check on his own leadership, I might add, and runs over to get in the way of the Greybeards. I back the Bombardiers up as much as I can and still shoot with them. I'm hoping that the angle is extreme enough that the Bombardiers don't get overran into, because what I'm going to try to do in the magic phase is pull out his Dispel dice and then use the Universal Frenzy spell from Shamanism that I got in order to give that unit Frenzy. They're going to kill Bow Wowser if they charge him, and then have to overrun, and hopefully gives me flank and rears with my Merkvet, Skaz and Spazzes, and possibly even Rufus. That's the hope. And that's really it for movement. Everything just kind of positions to countercharge. There's a better picture of the Mammoth Hunter rallying and his backup fleeing during the shooting phase, because I am able to get the Frenzy spell off in the magic phase on the Greybeards, which is huge. That's the only spell I was able to get off, though. And then the Bombardiers shoot at the Dwarves as well as my cannon. They both hit, and I think in total I'm able to kill about 4 or 5 of them. Not a huge, body pile or anything, body count, but I'll take it. It's better than nothing. So we go into combat. I apologize. I forgot that Cheapskate had made rolled a 14 with his random movement to go after these guys and hit him in the rear. Unfortunately, all he's able to do is 1 wound. In return, they murder Cheapskate. But the motivation in this guy, Cheapskate's going to be a loved model in my army, I have a feeling. For as long as Shamanism allows you to summon things, I don't see that lasting long. This is way too powerful, but I'm loving it, so I'm curious to see if it stays. Cheapskate is a hero, and he died a hero's death. So with that, we go over here to bottom of 4 after movement, and the Greybeards go after the Bow Wowser and hit him no problem, and then his King's Guard go after my Mammoth Hunter on a Tusker and hits him no problem. So far, things are going okay with the Greybeards. I realize at this angle he could very easily hit my Bombardiers, but you know what? I'm not the greatest at this game, so I'm just thrilled that they have to overrun. Maybe I'll get lucky. And with the Mammoth Hunter on a Tusker, well, this is either redemption or condemnation. Either way, or condemn, whatever. It's going to be bad for him. I hate words. And that's it for movement. There's a better picture of the 2 charges on top and in the bottom of the picture there. There is no magic or shooting, so nothing happens in magic anyway, so we go into combat, and hey, go figure, they kill Bow Wowser, no problem. Bow Wowser threw all of his attacks at the unit champion, which he just so happened to be in base-to-base with, and failed to wound him. I wounded him twice, actually, but he made both of his armor saves, and then they killed him, which was sad. And then my opponent overruns because he has to, because he's frenzied now thanks to that spell, and that's where he ends up. He did not go very far at all. It was huge. And yeah, we all know what's coming next turn. I'm so happy. We go into combat over here, and it doesn't go well at all. I end up in a challenge with his king. I'm hoping to slip that last wound through. It doesn't happen. His king is fine. And in return, he does 2 wounds to me. Would have been 4, but he's got the Iraq's charm, so he's able to only take 2. However, charge, banner, 2 wounds to nothing. I lose by 4. And I break, and I flee off the table. He doesn't catch me. He goes in. He's actually a couple of inches into the ruins. That's why there's a dead model there. He had to take a dangerous terrain check for a few of his guys. 1 died. So at least 1 more dwarf ate shit before he chased my Mammoth Hunter off the table. That sucks, but well played by my opponent. So here's top of 5 after movement, and yes, everything charged his damn graybeards, and everything made it, except for Rufus. Rufus didn't make it, and that's fine. Most of them made it, so I guess I lied to you. Not everything made it. So as you can see, that's it. My cannon shifted over 6 inches to try to fire down the flank of his Kingsguard, just because I thought that would be a cool shot. Rufus isn't going to do anything. He moved forward like 4 inches, and that was the end of that. But all in all, I'm quite pleased with this movement phase. There's a better picture of justice. We go straight into combat, and as you can see, we obliterate them. We kill pretty much everything, with the exception of maybe 5 guys. They break, and everything pursues. They run from the Merc Vets, and they get run down. It's game over at this point, and that was just I'm pleased that my plan came together so well. My opponent looks at the table and the position and everything and says, listen, I'm not going to move my Kingsguard and my General down there to fight you guys. You're not going to be able to get to me in time. I'm just going to go to the back corner and try to hide from you, so we can just call it. And so we did. We called it right here. Not a surrender, just this is what the point value is going to be based off of, because there's no way I'm going to get to him or do enough to scare his unit off the table, and it's just not worth the fight. So we called it. So here it is. Here's the end of the game. My first game with version 1.2 rules, and it actually went very well for me. It didn't go perfectly for me, but it was good to see that the game still functions as desired. My list is basically the same. My opponent's list was very similar to his old 2,500 point list in version 1.1. I'm very pleased with how it all worked out. I have some new tricks. Being able to summon a totemic monster or whatever with shamanism is awesome. You don't have to take Kin Eaters anymore. There's no reason to do it. Oh my god. The Frenzy spell, that's going to be huge. I could see that, especially if I ever get it off on my good old boys. Like if they hit something and they've got 8 guys in base-to-base contact with them. I know it's only 4 more attacks, but you know it's going to help a lot with terror and stuff like that. A lot of psychology tests. This should be really interesting. Not to mention being able to use it the way I did in this game to, you know, basically force them into a beautiful countercharge position. So I'm really enjoying it so far. Granted, this is only one game. I still want to try some other things. I still want to see, you know, how all the rules still work, you know, the way I think they should. I got to play other armies, obviously. But this isn't too bad. This isn't too bad. I'm enjoying this quite a lot. And the changes to like my armor and my weaponry and stuff like that have been positive. So outstanding. But you know what? Let's go ahead and get right into the recap because I'm excited, and this game is over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
So, as I'm pretty sure you could tell, this was a victory for Lord Tremendous. I ended up getting 3,410 points out of him. He got 2,246 out of me for a difference of 1,164. I ended up losing Lord Tremendous, my Hunter on a Tusker, the Good Old Boys, my Trappers, and Bow Wowser. So definitely not going to be the biggest celebration party when we get back to the tribe. The Thundercannon of Doom! Taking out the bomber like a champion. That was awesome. And I like the way cannons work now because I can shoot at things that are close to my other units without having to worry about, oh, it's illegal because you can hit your own unit. Nope, don't have to worry about that anymore because it only hits that individual. I like that. I like that a lot. Lord Tremendous did a good job. I can't complain, but he died, but like a hero. You know, helping take out those handgunners, decimating the Kingsguard. Yeah, the Kingsguard got the upper hand in the end of the game, but that was awesome. I really like that kit. Loving the new Shamanism summoning spell. That is broken, and Cheapskate is a monster. And that Frenzy spell. Oh, I'm going to use that. It's going to end up biting me in the ass. I know I'm going to overuse it, but I'm going to use that spell. That's awesome. Not everything went my way. Yeah, the Kingsguard, they're murderers. Yeah, they killed Lord Tremendous for no reason and then ran off the Good Old Boys. Honestly, I think that when they pursued the Mammoth Hunter on a Tusker and would have hit the Good Old Boys, I think they should have just been destroyed. But I mean, it worked out in the end. They died. They didn't have any other effect. My bad on that one. I misquoted earlier in this report when I said that the handgunners killed 2 of my tribesmen. That's not true. It was the catapult that hit and killed 2 tribesmen. So catapults got better in my opinion. The organ gun is still the devil incarnate, and that's to be expected. So there's no change there. But a lot of great changes that I'm seeing so far, and they all seem to be positive. I didn't see anything in my list or my opponent's list that it was like, oh, well, now it doesn't work anymore. Now it's broken. Now it's garbage. I mean, my biggest gripe so far in version 1.2 is the fact that they're trying to steer it closer to 4,500 points. I don't agree with that. I don't like it. My group agrees, and so we're playing at 5,000 points. So don't expect to see 4,500 point games from me unless we're prepping for a GT or something like that. And I gotta think that for the most part, just me guessing and looking at the general pulse on the forums, that 5,000 is more what people are going to lean towards than 4,500. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I guess either is viable. I just like having more of my toys on the table. Most of all for me, though, this was still a really fun game, and it was reassuring to me. I did have some apprehension. I was like, oh god, please don't let this game suck now. It doesn't. So the changes so far that I've experienced aren't game-breaking. They aren't really game-changing. I do feel the streamlining in it. I don't know exactly how I feel about it yet. It seems to be good so far, but I want to play a few more games before I have a definite yay or nay. What I can tell you is that the magic phase, while a little bit faster now, if you don't take oh gosh, how do I want to put this? If you're not really careful about how many dice you throw to spell, you could vaporize your caster and your unit instantly for a spell that you were just trying to get a, draw out dispel dice with. So the magic phase, while it's, I guess, more streamlined is the way I want to put it, it is definitely not any less dangerous. You have to be super careful in the magic phase. And of course, this was a great game, even with all the changes. This is still a great opponent, even with all his changes. And I'm very much looking forward to playing my next game against him and anyone else. This is a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying rediscovering or discovering all the different nuances of version 1.2. So far, granted it's just one game, but so far all positive. Of course, I want to take a moment to say thank you to everybody that supports me financially through PayPal, Patreon, and other means. I very much appreciate it. These are the individuals that allow me to thank them properly on my videos. I have a lot of anonymous donors that would like me not to, and I have to respect that because they give me money. But here are the individuals that allow me to thank them the way I'd like to. Alex of the Vale Renegades, South Florida's Gamermancy team, Daniel Jolson, and Caillou Choi. Thank you guys very, very much. I appreciate it, and I hope I continue to be worthy of your patronage. Thank you. But that's going to do it, guys. This is the end of Battle Report number 43. It is officially in the history books. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you saw some good things. And if you did, say something in the comment section. If you saw something that you disliked, say it in the comment section. You have questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, say it in the comment section. I will get back to you as quick as I can, because that's what I do. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. Thanks.